Friends, thank you for watching my channel. I just want to remind you, if you need wallpaper, go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. Tell them Spencer sent you. In fact, if you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they'll be sure to give you 10% off at your checkout. No matter how much you order, they have a wide selection of wallpaper. Check it out. Hey, this is Spencer Colgan from Spencer Colgan is Wallpaper, and this video is one of many on hanging wallpaper around window returns. So let me show you what I mean. You can start. So I get my seam fully attached before I mess with the window. Okay, gotta have this. This has to be all finished first, this work. Before you can start with the window. So I'm going to fast forward this if I remember when I'm editing it, but just remember, please, this is the first thing to secure first, and that is the seam. Okay, this is the boring part of the video. So we're expecting a hurricane in Florida. Okay, we're getting there. Okay. take my blade. Okay. Now, on my corner, I'm going to use vinyl over vinyl paste so that it can set up quickly and not come up off of the corner. Because the corner wants it to come off. Okay. Okay. So when you're doing a corner, you don't want the paste to dry that you put on the corner. You want it to be sticky and moist. Okay, I'll be right back. So for my corner, I'm going to use vinyl over vinyl. It's super sticky, and corners don't come up when you use it. Okay. So now I'm taking my blade. I can't afford to lose any wallpaper in this corner. If my corner is off and it's not square, I'm going to have a gap there. So I want to make sure that I'm very careful not to trim this too much. In fact, what I could do is steal some of the wallpaper above the opening of the window. What I'm doing is I'm taking 3/16 of an inch of that wallpaper above the return. Okay? So that when I fold my wallpaper over, I have enough in that corner. And as you can see, I just have enough. You know what I did? You understand what I mean? I took it from above. But minimally, here's what you want to do. You cut the wallpaper like this and you run it just on the roof of the return. Because if you wing it, you might wind up taking too much wallpaper off. So now I'm just massaging the corner, pushing all the air out, okay, evening out the paste. And now I'll embed the corner, meaning that we're setting it in place for the life of the installation. Okay, so I want to push it over as much as possible. Now the rest is up to my smoother. And you want to be mindful if you have cheap wallpaper, don't stress the corner. The color comes off, the material rips. Be careful, because it's a lot of work to start repairing the wallpaper in this very visible area. Okay, now after I'm done with this, would you just bring them in so they can see the tightness of the corner? Okay. see that. Now, can you show them this? You see what's going on there? What's going on here? I took that wallpaper off, right? Do I know what I'm doing? Well, that's going to be scrap. That will be scrap. Okay. And we're going to put the next piece over this and splice it right over the corner. Join me on the next frame. Now I'm going to make a level line right over my corner. And I'm going to cut that off. After I splice the next sheet, matching the pattern here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to match the pattern. Let me show you what I mean. Let's hang wallpaper around this window with returns. Okay? We have to take this off because it's unnecessary now. It doesn't fit anywhere. Now I have to match the wallpaper. I don't know the word. I have to impose the image of this pattern on top of the image of the pattern exactly where it's supposed to go. Do you know what I mean? So, if you zoom in, oh, I think I made this too wet. I have to put the pattern exactly on top of the other one, right? So I'm looking for that. There we go. So I'm looking for these 3 flowers. See these 3? I see them under it. Oh, here we go. Here's the match. So you see these 2? Bring them in to make them 1. See this one? Bring it in, make it 1. Okay, so now my pattern is matching. Okay? It's almost like a flip book. When you were a kid, you made the pictures at the bottom and you opened the book and you made the pages flap quickly. And you can see the movement when you do it quickly. And if you see movement, it means you're not on top of the image. Okay. We want to be precise here, okay? The more precise you are, the more incredibly good your repair is going to look. Okay, we just need a smoother. Do we see a smoother around? Oh, big. Yeah, that's good. That I had dropped that before. Forgot to pick it up. Okay, so the main point, now please remember, what is the main point at this juncture? You must find the pattern and put the replacement sheet directly over it without messing it up, okay? Please, if you get that right, you're gonna love this video and the results on your project, okay? Now does everyone understand? Can you just come in close? So we put these 3 flowers directly over the 3 flowers under it. These 3 directly over, and so on and so on. So that now I can replicate the wall covering and simultaneously make my wallpaper grow to the right of the window. Okay? You know, I discovered this on my own. Nobody taught me this. I don't know what I was wallpapering. I was a kid. And I said, I don't know what I was going around, but it was something like this. And I said, I know what I'll do. And it came to me. The first wallpaper teachers, the first wallpaper hangers became teachers. They had to. Who taught them, you know? That's the way anything is. I'm not saying that I'm so wonderful, but if you think about something hard enough, you put the time into it, you can do great things. Now remember, my laser line is in line. Why am I choosing to cut here? Well, I'm choosing to cut here because it's the best place to make the cut, considering the fact that my wallpaper has to go right into this return. Now that was not intended. What just happened there? So I'm going to lift it up and cut that way. Because if I cut this way, I run the risk of cutting too much paper off, okay? So now that it's cut, now you can bring the camera in there and just show, well, let me just cut some of this slop off. I don't want to be slop-olsky. Okay. Now we can see the beauty in this procedure. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna clean it off. Now, if the camera woman can just go back to where she was, because it's important that you see what just happened here while I disassemble our splice. I'm gonna disassemble it. Okay. I love hanging wallpaper around corners, around these windows, because it's good stuff. It's good stuff for videos, good content on my channel. Okay, now let's disassemble our patch. Okay, look, remember we have a piece underneath. We got to get rid of it. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Now be careful when you take this out. Don't stress the patch piece. You know, if you pull it out too hard, you can actually stress the material. Remember, we spliced it there. Now watch this. Our pattern, we've abbreviated our pattern, right? We've altered this sheet, the size of it. You must transfer that alteration down there. So what I'm going to do is put my laser line from here, bring it down to here, so that I do not exceed this edge. Okay, let's get to it. So if I overlapped and spliced the sheet above, I have to overlap and splice this sheet down here. And the only way I'm going to be able to transfer the line up above to down here is with a laser level. If you had a snap line with a chalk, you could do it like that too. But I'm adjusting right now that line up there. I got it on the edge, and it's going to dictate my line down here. So now, all I have to do is match our wallpaper again. Again, I'm superimposing the pattern so that it matches. Okay. And with this line, you want to make sure that you're not just saying, oh, why? The laser's touching it. You want to get it exactly where it's supposed to be. Because you can be off 1/8 of an inch, and you don't want that. Okay. Now let me bring you up close and show you what we did. I took my sheet and I matched it up. See that? See that? See how I matched it up there? See? I'm going to be trimming this off. Okay, but I matched it up. Being dictated by that line. And if you follow that line, you'll see that you match over here. Because the pattern is constant, right? What is up there transfers to what's down here. Okay, I'm going to shut off this laser. I don't need it anymore, especially in my eyeball. Okay. Get you in this section here. Okay. Clean up our sill. So why do my friends in the UK call woodwork trim at the base skirting boards? Oh, it's a skirting board. Okay, now we need to cut, right? As we cut above, now we're going to splice our wall covering. Right here, right down. Anywhere will do, as long as you're overlapped, you know? If you want to be a perfectionist, you'll follow your splice line above. But you're not going to see it, so it doesn't, you don't really have to match it where you cut it above. But it's going to be somewhere around where you cut it above. You just want to make sure that you have wallpaper underneath wallpaper. You know, if you can get away with cutting through a part of the pattern where it's solid, go for it. Because let's say you weren't perfect, superimposing your overlap pattern on your underlap. Well, you're gonna have like double vision. You might be off a hair and see, oh, you know, I messed up, you know. So my point is, you're trying to avoid cutting through the pattern, if you can. Yep, I got product under there. Okay, so let's do our cut. So, garbage. So that's one piece we took away. Now we have our underlap. We're going to take this away. And now we should have two pieces that were manufactured by the installer, manufactured right here in the home. Okay, let me bring you up close. Get this out of the way. Okay, let's bring you in. Here's our splice. Can you find it? You won't be able to. And on your project, I won't be able to because you're going to do it perfectly as well. See that? And this edge now meets up with this edge. See that? You can do this. Come on. Okay, so we let the night pass, and this is what we have left. On the last frame, we established the fact that the edge of the top sheet and the edge of the bottom sheet are at the same exact distance from the corner of the wall over, so that our next sheet, above and below, will be also ending at the same point, so that we can wrap this window properly. If you're interested in purchasing wallpaper glasses, eyeglasses, please let me know in the comment section below. Do you folks use the word weary when you really mean wary? If you are, please change your ways. Thank you. Okay, so weary means you're tired. Wary means you're not comfortable with something. Bring them in close, please. When you're wrapping a corner nice and tightly, you don't want to start your smoother out on the edge. You want to start it out on an angle. This way you can push any air or excess paste away from the corner without making dents in the corner. That was excess paste. Sometimes we put too much paste on the wall covering, and the result is waviness under the wall covering. So you have to get it out gently, but you must get it out, or else it's going to dry like that. Nice and easy. So, okay. So, a wallpaper friend of mine, was hanging grass cloth for a customer. And the customer chose the grass cloth and had him install the wall covering. And he did a great job on it. But the customer's neighbor came over and pointed out what she believed were imperfections in the work. And she called the neighbor and said, I was by your house. Your wallpaper guy is there. This wasn't, I'm not speaking of myself. Jorge. I'm speaking about Jorge. The neighbor called the homeowner and said, I can see all the seams and it's all different colors. Apparently, the neighbor is not a subscriber to my channel, evidenced by her ignorance. And so Jorge called me saddened that his customer wanted to know what was going on with her wallpaper. And so they have a dispute over how the wall covering should look now. If you hang grass cloth for folks, please sit them down and ask them, do you know how grass cloth looks when it's installed? Google grass cloth shading and paneling, and you will get some of the worst pictures on the internet of how grass cloth sometimes looks like it's different wall covering, one sheet next to the other. So you always want to have a sit down and talk to them about how grass cloth sometimes doesn't look the way a customer might expect it will look in the end. Okay, we're going to put this sheet down here at the bottom and we'll continue this video. See you on the next frame. Okay, so here we are again. Now, I understand that not everybody can go to the wallpaper school and learn this trade in the classroom. I understand that. And when customers call me, whom I've never spoken to before, I always let them know that I went to Colgan University for wallpaper hanging. And they're always so impressed. And, you know, when they ask me about my experience, I tell them that I have a PhD in wall covering science. And they're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know there was, you know, there's things in the USA anyway. There's things such as hospitality, a master's degree in hospitality science, something like that. So I tell them I have a PhD in the science of wall covering. And they're like, oh my goodness. And I tell them I got it from Colgan University and I graduated with honors. I find myself to be honorable, you know? And then I feel bad when they get so impressed. And then I wonder, should I disabuse them of this jocose fib? And that's where I struggle. So anyway, PhD is my paper hanging diploma, PhD. And you know what, today, my PhD these days is just as good as the other PhDs people are getting. I went to college in the late 80s. Of the 1900s. And the people from whom I took instruction were over 80% PhDs. Conventional PhDs, where you had to actually defend your scholarship before a panel of experts. That is why, this is one of the reasons why I believe sedevacantism is an unchallenged science. Because it hasn't been presented before a panel of experts who may have information that hasn't been perused. Okay. Okay, now, if our wallpaper is true, then this edge should match with that edge. Okay? So let's see. I'll see you on the next frame. Good boy. Lo and behold. What does that mean, lo and behold? Actually, hello, look at this boy. Come over here. Come here. Who's the best dog in the world? Oh, he licked Daddy. I love you too. Okay, getting back to wallpaper. Now, my wallpaper edge falls in the middle of the laser. If you look at the top, on the underlap wallpaper, there is a convergence on the laser line and the edge of the wallpaper, and the wallpaper goes beyond the laser. What we're going to do is slice that off so that the next wallpaper can meet up nicely and make believe that it matches. Okay, that's that. So that's what we'll do. I'll see you on the next frame. What do we do now for this sheet? What are your options? Take a full sheet and hang it up here. Our sheet will come out to about here. Now think about it. You put the sheet here, you drape it all the way down. If you were to try to fill in all of this space here with the next sheet, would it work? Fill in that, and then I try to flap this over, but this wallpaper that goes here will take from here, so that wouldn't work. Now this would be more interesting if this windowsill were to get wallpapered. It'd be a lot more interesting, but it's less of a challenge to do this. So let me show you how we're going to go about it. I'm going to take a full sheet, run it up here, flap my wallpaper into here, so that when I come up here, I can manufacture a new piece and blend it in here. Let's do it. Okay, let's do this. We have a hurricane going on in Florida. I want to thank all of you who sent that food and well wishes. Thank you. One of you good folks sent mashed potatoes, but when they arrived they were spoiled. But that's okay. You meant well. That's okay. perfectly okay. Now, okay. So now we're going to bring this sheet down and wrap around. Now we have to keep it straight, or else we're going to throw off the remainder of the sheets on the wall. Okay. Now here comes the expertise right here. And when you're doing this, you need a water bottle, because you need to be able to move your wallpaper back and forth, okay? Now, this is not permanent yet. We're just figuring it out, getting out the buckles, okay? Okay. Do you have any questions that the viewers might have? You know, that maybe I'm not talking about?
I was just looking at the order which you cut. You cut right above the top and then the side, and then you cut the bottom.
All right. Okay. So usually I get some phone calls that test my patience. I'm working on the virtue of patience. And I get calls from people who are hard of hearing sometimes. And they repeat themselves. Like, do you hang paper? Do you remove paper? And then they summarize their questions by, so you remove and hang it. Yes, yes, and yes. So I decided to call a fellow paper hanger, a colleague friend of mine in Fort Myers, Florida, a very experienced hanger named Matthew Degnan. So I said, he says, hello, I forget what he said. I said, hello, do you hang wallpaper? He said, yes. I said, okay, now, do you remove wallpaper too? He said, yes, if it's, I don't know, but he said if. I said, okay, so you remove it? He said, yes, I do. I said, so you remove and you hang it, okay. So I said, what do you do first? Do you remove it or? What do you do first? Do you remove it or do you hang the paper? He says, well, I gotta remove it. Click. He hung up. When I called him back, he said, I didn't know if I was going to be on TV or something. He said it sounded so bizarre, you know. So let me get this straight. What do you do first? Remove it or hang it? Oh. It was so funny. Okay. Get those wrinkles out.
Can I tell them something?
Hold on, I just want to say, this is why it's important to get quality wall covering right here. You get cheap wallpaper that rips. You see, this wallpaper is standing up to the stress of being compromised for having been wet, it's saturated, and stretched. I mean, I'm stretching it into position. Not so much stretching, but I am pulling on it, which is causing it to stretch. And this paper is $100 a roll. It's expensive. And you know what? When it gets more expensive than $100 a roll, there is no qualitative difference. It's the name. $100 a roll, you're dealing with, not necessarily, but I mean, you pull on wallpaper when it's wet, you know it's good if it doesn't tear. I worked for a lady one time. I will not mention Indian Rocks Point, Florida by name, but that's where the job was. And the wallpaper was garbage. And it was a very expensive home. And the paper was just tearing, tearing. And I said, you know, your wallpaper is not the best. Oh, man. So, you know, we want to be sensitive to people's egos. You don't want to say it's garbage. You want to say that it's not something you would hang in your own house. I wouldn't hang this. AKA, it's garbage. They say, oh really? Why wouldn't you hang it? Well, it's garbage. We are dealing with a buckle. And that's one of the reasons why you want to keep it wet. Now this is all installed. It's matched up, but this going around here creates a situation where the straight of the wall covering is affected. And this is significant. Can you see that buckle? Mm-hmm. That's significant. So, I'll try to get rid of it by taking down this sheet again and sharing that buckle out to the four corners. But I don't know how it's going to turn out. Okay, I just realized something. It doesn't matter because we're splicing it in up there. The only thing that does matter is that this is straight. Okay, so let's make sure of that. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Matthew and Robert, his brother, from Sydney, Australia, who will be joining me on a 3-week journeyman wallpaper hanging extravaganza in the Tampa Bay area. They won the raffle among the 347 people who applied to hang wallpaper with Spencer Colgan is wallpaper.com. And just wanted to say congratulations to both of them. And I look forward to seeing you in the Tampa Bay area. Okay. It's very nice of them to want to learn how to hang paper. I have a friend who suffers from flat earth syndrome. It's he developed it around 30 years of age. It's called flat earth syndrome. Do you have any of those friends? Okay. Now, we need to wallpaper the flap, as I call it. Let's do it. Okay. So, I mean, as you can see, this is not rocket science, right? It's not. I like to make believe that it is because it helps me feel like important. And I like feeling important, you know? I don't know. Beautiful. Oh, you know what I wanted to? I want to bring that out. A guy on Instagram recently shared with me his video on how to break blades away on your knife. He said, I watch you break your blades. Can I suggest you do it this way? I said, sure. Let's see how you do it. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So, you see, that's the issue here. And now, Aubrey from the UK, what he does is, I've seen it on his video, he will splice this in. So I'm going to show you a different way. Ow. Okay. You can fast forward through all of this, but it's very important that it be done. Floating the paste underneath, making sure that all of the air is purged from the corner. But I'll tell you something else. If you have a quality wall covering, your corners are going to look great. The color won't be marred. You know, you'll do good. Okay. Okay, let's do this. You can stop the camera while I clean up. Now, for the folks who've never done this before, I want to help you not go crazy. After this trauma to this sheet of getting the wallpaper around this corner and that one, the wall covering tends to suffer a lack of plumb. And if you look closely, you'll see that our green line is on the wall covering from the bottom to the middle, and then it veers off right onto the edge. All right, let me get closer. Now, you may not think that this means anything significant. See how you can see wall covering after the green line? But that's not the case down here, is it? In the middle? No. And then it does that again. Now, it means that this sheet's going to be hard to install. So we want to keep our water bottle so we can do this with the wallpaper. Okay? So just keep that in mind. You might say, what's going on? This sheet doesn't align. There's something wrong with the wallpaper. No. No. So let's keep it in mind and plan ahead. So we need to fill in this. This is not necessarily a bad sheet. But we got to get rid of it because we need to fill in this. So again, we match our pattern perfectly. And this will be our new sheet right here. Now you want to pay close attention to booking. where you soak the wall covering before you install it in the paste. Booking. It's in your instructions how long to book each sheet. But you want to make sure you're well booked here. Because you're replicating the paper underneath it. Its expansion, its temperature, everything. It all has to be the same for it to match up. And if you're doing this with a geometric pattern, have a glass of wine before you hang it. Now we're looking close. Okay, I'm satisfied that I'm completely on top of my pattern. I'm satisfied. Now we're going to move our laser right over the corner. That's where we want our seam to be. So I'm making an impression on the paper so that I can see where I need to do that. Okay? So let's do it. It's not easy to see. Maybe I can follow this line up. What do you think? Can I do that? Will that give me the true reading? I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right there. I'm gonna move it over a hair, but that's pretty good. Just a hair. Yeah, that's good. All right, so we grab our other tool. If there were ever a business that had low overhead with tools, it's wallpaper hanging. You know? You want to see guys with nice tools? Go on Painting and Decorating. Two brothers from the UK. I love their videos. Some guys who have YouTube channels, they use all new tools. I'm not impressed. I like to see tools that have been with mechanics for years. Because, you know, that means they love their tools. They take care of their tools. That means they love what they do with their tools, too. Oh, man. I can see better, but can you move that laser level over 3/16 of an inch to the left? Can you do that? Oh, you almost had it. To the right now. Oh, to the right a little bit. Oh, to the left a little bit. Let me see. To the right, just another 3/16 of an inch. Oh, perfect. 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 Okay, folks. Now for the guy from New York who's going to say, a lot less talking, a lot more doing. I say to you, you're taking away my fun. I like to do this. Don't steal my fun, please. Don't do that to me, sir. I think we got it. Okay. Now, this is the hard part right here. this way, right? Sometimes I forget what I'm doing. And then you mess it up. Okay. So, the point is we got to get this cut this way. And it's not easy, folks. Come on, it's not easy. And, okay, so what we'll do is come over to the wall, because then you wind up cutting your wallpaper where you don't want it to be cut. All right, I'm gonna just tear it. I'm gonna tear it. Beautiful. Now check it out. Can they see this? Can you zoom in? I just relieved the stress point that's going to allow me to put the wallpaper into that return. Okay, very nice. And I didn't want to scratch the wallpaper underneath it. So now, here I go. Look at that. All right. And you always want excess. So now, let's remove the sheet that we don't need, right? This is the sister sheet of our patch. And now we have to take out the underlap of the original sheet that we're replacing. And after that, you've mastered how to hang wallpaper around a window. Don't forget this undersheet. Oh man, come on. We gotta do the whole thing. I hate removing a sheet of wallpaper. You knock it out of its place, you know? Okay. Where's a helper? I need a helper. Just kidding. Okay. Most people will not be watching right now. They'll say, all right, I got it. The guys have a tendency of watching and running because they got no patience. The young guys, 18 to 30, stick around because they play videos. And this is like a video. I'm sorry, I just get... I'm alright. I get emotional when I do really good work. I'll be alright. Now, I sometimes ask my viewers for a comment. Could you just say perfect in the comments below if you don't mind? Just perfect or incredible, Spencer, or you rock. Just kidding. Okay. We're not done. We have to make sure that our underlap sits properly. And that takes finesse. We gotta bring this in. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up. And we'll resume after I clean this mess up on my edge. I have a plaster edge that I gotta clean up, make it look pretty for you. I don't wanna waste your time or mine. Okay? Okay, now. in the corner, you'll see that I've left that flap over. You want this meat to fill that corner and then some. And what I mean by then some is that it comes down onto this side. Ideally, it should flap under this piece. And we'll try to get that up and do that. Okay. All right, so let's trim that piece I spoke about earlier. And it's our overlap. Okay. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Clean it up. Okay. I like it. I like it. I'm going to fine tune it. My corner is a little uneven. I'm going to take a straight edge and I'm going to try to get it in there a little better. Sometimes when we try to do things just a little better, we wind up ruining it. I think we got it. Okay. Put the final touches on the corner here. I'm going to be so gentle with the corner. Oh, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Okay, folks, I am happy with that. And I will now show you the whole thing. My little girl is holding the camera. But now I'm going to take over. Thank you, Angel. Let me see you.
What are you saying to me?
Because you're beautiful. That's our corner. And that's Hurricane Ian coming and going.